Benny the butterfly who wanted to be a bird. In a colorful meadow where flowers giggled in the breeze and bees danced in lazy loops, lived a butterfly named Benny. Benny wasn't just any butterfly. He had wings painted with swirls of blue and specks of gold that sparkled in the sunlight. But Benny didn't feel special. In fact, he felt small. "Hey, Benny," bellowed Boris the beetle, who was nearly 5 times Benny's size and twice as loud. "Try not to get blown away by a sneeze." The other beetles snorted with laughter. Benny fluttered his wings shyly and flew away. Then came Trudy the toad, who croaked from her lily pad. "Careful, Benny. A raindrop might squish you flat." Benny sighed. It wasn't easy being a tiny butterfly in a big, bustling world. "I wish I were a bird," he whispered one day. "Birds are big. Birds are strong. No one picks on a bird." That evening, Benny sat on a daisy and watched the birds in the sky. There was Penny the pigeon doing perfect barrel rolls. There was Charlie the cardinal chirping with his chest puffed out. And there was Skylar the swallow, zooming so fast he looked like a blur with wings. Oh, to fly like them! Benny sighed. "They flap like thunder. I flap like a whisper." Suddenly, a wise old owl hooted from a nearby oak tree. "Why so glum, little flutterer?" "I want to be a bird," Benny said. "Birds get respect. Birds don't get teased. Birds are cool." The owl chuckled. "Birds have feathers. You have flair. Birds eat worms. You sip nectar. Birds nest in trees. You sleep in blooms. Are you sure you want to be a bird?" Benny nodded. "I'm sure." The owl scratched his feathery head. "Well then, perhaps you should visit the Feather Fairy." "The who?" "The Feather Fairy," the owl said. "She lives in the misty tree on Fluttertop Hill. She grants flying wishes, but only the very special ones." The next morning, Benny packed his tiniest backpack with a petal sandwich, a thimble of dandelion tea, and one lucky acorn cap. He buzzed past ticklish tulips and sleepy sunflowers. He zipped above babbling brooks and buzzing bees. He even got a little lost in a foggy cloud of cotton candy fluff, which, by the way, made his wings very sticky. But after 3 flutter breaks and a nap on a mushroom cap, Benny reached Fluttertop Hill. There stood the misty tree, tall as a giraffe stacked on a moose standing on a bear. "Hella!" Benny called. The mist shimmered, and out floated a glowing creature with long silver feathers and twinkly eyes. "You seek a wish," she said. "You must be the Feather Fairy." Benny gasped. "I am," she smiled. "And you are the butterfly who wants to be a bird." Benny nodded quickly. She hovered in circles around him. "Why do you want this?" "Because everyone teases me," Benny said. "Because birds are amazing. Because I want to feel brave." The Feather Fairy tilted her head. "Being brave doesn't always mean being big. But I will give you a trial. For one day, you may be a bird. If, by sundown, you want to return to your butterfly self, just whisper your wish." Benny blinked. "Wait, really?" With a flick of her feathery finger, poof! Benny's wings turned to feathers, his body grew plump, and he suddenly had toes. "Ah! I have toes!" he yelled, then giggled. "I have toes!" And just like that, Benny the butterfly became Benny the bird. Finley the fish who wanted to be human.
Deep beneath the shimmering waves of Coral Bay lived a tiny silver fish named Finley. Finley was small, even for a fish, with shiny scales that sparkled like the moon on water. He darted between coral towers and seaweed forests, always curious, always dreaming. But what he dreamed of most was her. Every morning, just after sunrise, a little girl with pigtails and laughter like wind chimes would race across the beach. She'd splash through the surf, chase seagulls, and talk to the sea as if it were her best friend. Her name was Lila. Finley knew this because the dolphins said it. Lila's back, they'd chirp whenever she came running, her feet skimming the waves. Lila is singing again, the crabs would cheer. Even the sea anemones perked up when she passed by. But Finley just watched. She's amazing, he sighed one day, floating behind a rock with only his eyes peeking out. She's a human, grumbled Grumble, an old grouper fish. And you, my friend, are a guppy with a crush. Finley flicked his tail. I just want to know what it's like to walk on the sand, to dance in the rain, to laugh without blowing bubbles. You're a fish, Grumble said. That's all you'll ever be. But Finley didn't believe that. Not deep down. Because every time he saw Lila leap through the foam or talk to the sea birds, his heart bubbled with hope. One evening, the sky turned orange-pink, and the sea glowed like melted candy. Finley swam to his favorite lookout rock where he could see the shore. Lila was there again, spinning in the shallow water, her arms stretched like wings. Her laughter danced on the breeze. Finley sighed the biggest sigh a fish ever sighed. If only I could walk beside her, just once. Suddenly, a voice behind him bubbled up like a giggle. You wish to walk on legs and breathe the breeze, it said. Finley spun around. A strange, glowing jellyfish hovered behind him. But it wasn't like any jellyfish he had ever seen. It shimmered with stars and had a crown made of sea foam. Who are you? Finley asked. I am the Sea-Wish spirit, she said, twirling. I grant rare dreams to the creatures of the deep. Yours is unusual, but sweet. Finley blinked. You can make me human. For one day only, she said, from sunrise to sunset. But you must promise something, never stray too far from the sea. For the ocean remembers its own. Finley nodded quickly. Yes. Please, yes. With a swirl of bubbles and a sparkle of sea dust, the spirit sang a watery tune. Finley's fins stretched, his tail curled, and pop, suddenly he had feet. Feet, he squeaked. And hands. And a nose. You are now a boy, Finley, said the Sea-Wish spirit. Go. Find your day. But remember, by sunset you must return. And just like that, Finley was lifted by a wave and placed gently on the soft, sandy shore. He blinked up at the sky, stood on shaky legs, and took his first wobbly steps toward the girl who laughed with the sea. Luna and the mountain that touched the sky. Dreamed of the sun. In a quiet village tucked between whispering trees and golden fields, lived a little girl named Luna. Her hair was the color of cinnamon, and her eyes sparkled like starlight, though they were always gazing upward. Above her village stood a great, towering mountain. It was taller than all the trees, taller than the clouds, and some said it touched the sky itself. But Luna didn't just look at the mountain, she climbed it. Every morning, before the rooster crowed and the bakers baked, Luna would pull on her woolly socks, tie her boots with a double knot, and whisper to the sunrise, "One day, I'll reach the sun." Again, her mother would laugh from the doorway, holding a basket of warm bread. "You can't reach the sun, my love. It's too far." "But I have to try," Luna would reply. "Because it's calling me." And off she would go, skipping up the mountain path with her backpack full of sandwiches, a notebook for sketches, and a marble shaped like a sun. The other children stayed in the village, playing games and chasing butterflies. But Luna? She chased the sky. The mountain was no ordinary mountain. Its rocks hummed quietly underfoot. Its trees whispered stories if you listened closely. And its paths, oh, the paths, they twisted and turned and sometimes moved when no one was looking. On her first journey, Luna only made it as far as the singing stream, a sparkling brook where the water bubbled in rhyme. She dipped her toes in and listened to the ripples hum lullabies. On her second trip, she reached the laughing pines, tall, swaying trees that giggled whenever the wind tickled them. By her fifth climb, she had reached the starlit caves, where the walls shimmered like the night sky and tiny glowing bugs spelled secret messages in the dark. Every time she climbed, she got a little higher. Every time, she discovered something new. But still, the sun felt far away. "Why do you want to reach the sun?" asked a curious fox one day, sitting on a warm stone as Luna ate her sandwich. "Because I want to know what it feels like," Luna said softly. "To be warm and bright and brave. To shine." The fox twitched its whiskers. "Be careful. Some dreams burn too hot." "I'll take that chance," Luna smiled. The next morning, Luna woke before the stars faded. She packed 3 sandwiches, peanut butter, jam, and one with cheese, a jar of blueberry juice, her lucky marble sun, and a tiny kite in case the wind wanted to play. This time, she wasn't climbing for fun. She was climbing higher than ever before. The air grew cooler as she reached the edge of the whispering ridge, where the wind murmured riddles that tickled her ears. Her boots crunched over pebbles shaped like eggs, and leaves that shone like silver. They were real. "I knew it," Luna gasped. She stepped carefully onto the first cloud. It squished under her boots like a sponge, but held her weight. The higher she went, the brighter the air became, until the mountain below looked like a crumpled green blanket. "Almost there," she whispered, "almost to the sun." But then came the feathered ones. "Why do you climb so high, little star stepper?" asked one with feathers of sapphire and emerald. "I want to reach the sun," Luna said, standing tall despite the wind. The birds fluttered and cawed. One old bird with feathers like burning coals said, "The sun is no place for feet or boots. It burns and blinds. It is not made for climbing." But I want to see it with my own eyes, Luna insisted. I want to know if it's really out of reach. The birds tilted their heads and looked at each other. Then the rainbow one said, "Very well. If you dare to dream, then dream fully." Above her, the sky was golden. The sun glowed like a giant coin, so bright it lit up her heart. And then, it happened. As Luna stood on the topmost cloud, a warm hush settled around her. Then, from the sun itself, came a voice, not loud, but deep and kind, like the hum of a song you almost forgot. "Little climber," the voice said, "you have come far." Luna looked up, her eyes wide. Are you the sun?" "I am what you call the sun," the voice replied gently. "And I have watched you climb every day, full of wonder and fire. I wanted to reach you," Luna said, holding her marble sun in her hands. "I wanted to shine too." The sun chuckled, a soft, golden sound. "You already do. Every time you climb, every time you believe, your heart shines brighter than you know." "But I'm just a little girl," Luna whispered. "And you're so big. So high. So far away." The sunlight wrapped around her like a hug. Greatness isn't always about size. Some of the brightest stars are the smallest. And you, Luna, you chase your dreams with fearless feet. She closed her eyes. For a moment she felt lighter than air, full of heat and hope and light. The feathered ones circled above her, singing in long, echoing calls. "You didn't touch the sun," one of them said kindly. Luna smiled. "I didn't need to. I just needed to hear it." When Luna returned to the village, the children gathered around her. "Did you do it?" they asked. "Did you reach the sun?" "I went as far as I could go," she said. "And I heard its voice. It told me that shining comes from inside, not from how high you climb." The children blinked. Then one by one, they began to smile. From that day on, the children no longer stayed at the bottom of the mountain. They followed Luna part way up the trail, making little maps and gathering funny-shaped stones. Some didn't go far, and that was okay. Others climbed high enough to find the laughing pines, or even the starlit caves. But none climbed as high as Luna. Sometimes she climbed just to see what had changed, because the mountain always had something new to whisper. And sometimes, at the very top, she would whisper back, "Thank you." Years passed. Luna grew taller, her hair longer, her boots bigger. But she still climbed the mountain. One day, she brought with her a little journal filled with drawings, maps of cloud steps, sketches of the feathered ones, and poems about the sun. She sat on her favorite high ledge and opened the book. On the first page she wrote, "Dear sun, thank you for reminding me that the brightest light comes from believing in something, especially when others say it's impossible. I will keep climbing. And I'll help others climb too."